Oh, there's an indoor pool here.
That looks just like Larry's pool. Well, no, Larry's pool was square.
All
right.
I don't know if you can see the background, but I'm working in the octagon area.
Oh, yeah.
But you were doing a deck.
Wow.
I got all the blasting sun on the deck every.
I think we lose a little bit of you when you're walking.
Oh, I had to get my.
It's for whatever reason the speaker doesn't pick up every word.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I wanted to start off tonight, you guys, looking back. Okay, so Charlie, you weren't able to print that document. And I don't think I ever did anything about sending it back out to you. I think I put it on my list and just never did it. You know, the worksheet.
Yeah.
You were not able to print it, right?
Correct.
Okay. I don't know what to do about that because I think you use an Apple.
No, I'm DOS.
Oh, you are. So maybe you don't have Word, huh?
I do, but I get a
Brand?
Get out of here. What happened?
I don't know, but we can hear you.
You're back.
Oh, here we go. When you send me an email,
Yeah.
I get a warning not to open the document.
Well, that's not uncommon. That's just because there's attachment.
Yeah, so it won't let me it won't allow me to open it. I can't.
Oh, I see.
And I'm a little bit computer literate, but I'm not super literate.
Oh, I got it. No, I understand. Okay, all right. Well, we all have everything written out. I'll try to send it to you again anyway. I'll send it from a different email address and see
Okay.
if it works. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, or I have one of these guys send it to you. Maybe they don't have as much time.
Maybe they could forward it and it'd be fine.
So the game this past week, the game that we took on was to be the qualities and characteristics that are uniquely ours, and to listen to other people as theirs. Remember, we went into the worksheet and we kind of looked at, like I said, well, for Raphael, how I see Raphael is that he is generous, full of adventure, that guy, and he's extremely loyal. Like, those are the things that stand out about me. So I took on listening to him that way this past week.
Mm-hmm.
And being energetic, passionate, and charismatic. Now, some things came up for me, but I want to check in with you first. Did you practice? And what was it? You know, let's just start there. Did you practice? Did you take on being your qualities and characteristics that are yours? And did you take on listening to at least one or two other people from theirs?
I'll go.
Yeah, go ahead.
No.
Yeah.
No, and I'm not being frivolous. I mean, what I got was, just thinking of it right now, I did not even look at myself like that.
Yeah. So you didn't take on being the qualities and characteristics that are uniquely yours. Got it. Okay. How about you, Charlie?
I did it for a couple of days, and then I got distracted. I just went out of existence.
Okay. How about you?
Say me?
Yeah, I did.
I couldn't hear my name. I did with Monty a couple of times, and then with other people, I would kind of forget to do it. And work.
How about you, Rasha?
Okay, sorry, I just came in, so I didn't hear your question.
Oh, so welcome to the call, first of all. Hi.
Hi.
So we were talking about the worksheet, and I said the agreement we made last week was to practice being the qualities and characteristics that are uniquely us, and to listen to at least one or two other people in our life as the ones we created for them. And I'm asking, did you do it?
Yes. So for me, yes. So for my qualities, and then for the person I listened to, the person who didn't listen with was.
Okay, so you practiced being yours, and you didn't practice so good listening to others.
Well, for me, when I'm doing mine, I'm listening to others for those same qualities.
Oh, okay, so you did. Okay, got it. But not the ones you created for them. Remember, we wrote them out.
Yeah.
So Ed's were for me worldly, compassionate, and fun. And I listened to Ed from worldly, compassionate, and fun.
Okay, got it. All right, thank you. Clear. So here's what I bumped up against. So each one of us bumped up against something. Like for Rasha and I, it's going to be different than it is for the three of you, because for the three of you, it went completely out of existence. So we'll look at that from a different point of view. But there must have been something that you bumped into that made it that easy to let it go out of existence. You don't have to have an answer yet. I want you to be kind of thinking about it. I'm going to share what, what I bumped into, and then I'm going to ask you, Rasha, to share what you bumped into, okay? Excuse me. First of all, I am flabbergasted by what's between us and accessing spirit. I'm flabbergasted. And I realized as I was looking at the whole of it, that this is a championship game. And we got to treat it as such, and we're not.
Yeah.
We're not. We're treating it like a good fucking idea. You know, it's kind of cool. But to really, like for me, and by the way, I'm talking my experience. I'm not talking us. Even though I'm talking to us, I'm not talking about us. I'm talking my experience. Because what I realized was I found myself trying to keep my three qualities and characteristics in existence. You understand? Is that how you? It was like creating a new possibility, like being the possibility of energetic, passionate, and charismatic, like trying to generate that.
Yeah.
And what I got is that you can't. Because if it is who we are as essence, if that is our connection to spirit, okay, if mine really is energetic, passionate, and charismatic, then it's not me trying to generate it. It is what is there to let go of that it can get expressed. We've been doing it backwards.
Right.
Thomas, what I'd like to say to that is that I bumped up against trying to create it, like you were saying.
Yeah.
But then I recognized I went immediately to feeling habits. I found myself in my feeling habits a lot this past week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too, I think. No, that's not true. My feeling habit is I feel like I'm going to lose everything. And the truth is that has not had a grip on me in a really long time. So I'm very happy to express that. And there's nothing handled because that is my feeling habit. And as long as I treat it like it is, then it won't have a grip. But the moment I treat it like it's handled, guess what? It's going to come back and grab me in the ass.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the nature of it. So here's so I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna turn it over to you, Rasha, as to what was your experience. And then we're gonna look at how do we capitalize on the natural experience? How do we capitalize on the fact that this is a championship game? We cannot fuck around. We cannot. We just can't. There's no way to accomplish what we say is possible. And there's nobody here that would be here if they didn't think it possible to access spirit at a very high level. At a very high level. So I'm hoping that this sharing will generate something for us. Go ahead, Rasha, before I quit.
So what came up for me, really the thing that supported me the most throughout the week was letting go. So practicing letting go did make these qualities more available. I'm also reading, it just happens to be coincidental, and it brought whatever I was dealing with that day. This book supported me, which I'm reading, The Book of Joy by the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu. So it's great because they talk about the human condition and they talk about suffering. And it's like, all the suffering is that you are in the way, like something you perceive is in the way. And so for us, our exercise is letting go. So I would lay in bed and kind of go through the letting go and opening my heart every night. And that was a practice every night for me this last week.
Good.
I think that is of any action or practice, that's what supported me the most. Now, what I see about, so like, where I think there is disconnect is what you're saying. So this is a natural state. So it's a natural state of my being to be loyal, caring, and generous. So what gets in the way is I say to myself, I'm focused. I have to get X done. You've all heard this part of me before. And I remember Thomas gave me this great coaching many years ago, and people are your assets. So I pretend, or I say they're stopping me or they're slowing me down. They. So it's like people are your assets. And I melted down around that all week. So that was my meltdown. I'm annoyed at them. And then it's like, but people are your axis. Who you are is loyal, and generous. You know, this is the area, and I dealt with it at work because honestly, I think I'm at home like sleeping time and maybe 2 or 3 hours. Work has been crazy.
Crazy what?
It's just been crazy, like crazy on steroids.
Yeah. Well, something that you said last week, and I don't know if you got it from your book or it's something that just popped out of your mouth, but I made note of it. And you said humanity is a way to play with spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I really got something there. I got something there because maybe, I hesitate saying this, but I'm going to say it. Maybe there is a distinction between us and spirit. Like, perhaps it is, you know, like Arjuna says, the clouds in the sky, right? But they do both exist. So if humanity is a way to play with spirit, then humanity has to be spirit, but at the same time, distinct from spirit. So going back to where we all started, the intention of our work is that people are powerful in both domains. They're powerful in the small self domain and powerful in the true essence domain. All right, you other guys, what did you bump into that either took you out or whatever? Just what did you bump into in trying to do the exercise?
I bumped into feeling habits, for sure.
So Larry distinguished his feeling habit as, I feel like there's not enough time.
Yeah.
And then he dances to that, as we all dance to our feeling habit.
Yeah.
And I'm making a note of that. Okay.
Yeah, I actually, not going to make it was another one that popped up for me, you know, like it running late, that, so it's sort of related to time again.
Yeah, but see, to me, that sounds more like a feeling habit, because I feel like there's not enough time is general. Everybody could say that. But you saying, I feel like I'm not going to make it, that rings for me like a feeling habit.
Yeah.
And that would give you, I don't have enough, if I'm not going to make it anyway, for sure I don't have enough time. If I had enough time, maybe I could. So I could see how that could all wrap together and even stimulate itself, right?
Yeah, well, I'm also working a job with a deadline for a wedding, and you know, there's every day I get up and go to work when I'd like to sleep a little longer.
Yeah. Well, one thing about the feeling habit, I feel like I'm not going to make it. You cannot resist it, because to resist it just has you be stuck to it. Okay, so it has to be able to exist as a feeling habit versus some truth. Do you see?
Yeah.
So, but you know it logically, but your mind in the matter connects to it like the truth. That's why it feels the way it feels. You want to now start looking at it as a feeling habit. You'll feel it and you'll say, well, that's just a feeling habit. That's how it starts losing power. There's nothing else to do with it. No pushing against it, no mantras, no pretending. You just acknowledge it as a feeling habit and let the energy move through. And next time it comes up, you do it again.
Yeah, and it's the thing that did stop me from doing the practice. You know, I started to do the practice with Monty, and then I'm like, I got to go to work. I got to get this done. That whole feeling habit thing came in.
Yeah.
But
what do you think the practice is?
The practice, I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Well, the way you're talking about it is like you have to stop the action, sit down, focus, and do something. Versus the practice is you're doing what you naturally do, but who you're being is connecting to that higher self over there.
Yeah.
Whatever you distinguished is her expression of it, right?
That is for me is the practice doesn't stay in existence because I am so concerned about something else that I'm not multitasking. I'm doing one thing and that's all I'm focusing on.
I see. Got it.
That's the way I work. I everything goes into that and everything else gets dropped.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. And
that has its what's the word I'm looking for? That has benefits. Like, I hear you say that, and I know I can't do that. And I long to be able to do that. Like, oh my gosh, to be around people who can give themselves totally to something they're up to, I just find it so fucking fascinating, because I am innately a multitasker. So I guess, it's some form of ADD or something going on. Not like I have to do anything about it and I don't care, but I do a lot of things at one time. Yeah, Rasha.
I literally don't do more than one thing at a time. I disappear.
I love that.
It appears out of existence sometimes, and it's like somebody will remind me of something. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I get it. Rasha?
So I have a question around that, because I think it's going to come up when we're supporting participants. So in my mind's eye, this exercise that we're doing is a way of being versus a thing one does. So loyal or caring isn't going to just show up in a domain, and it's something I'm going to sit and do. Caring is the way I be regardless of what is happening around me, because that's the three qualities that represent the being called Rasha.
Okay, so
I just want to be get this? Because I think we're going to get this question, or like kind of the conversation you're having right now, and how do we walk
Well,
participate?
think of it this way. A way of being gives what?
Gives a way to show up, or gives a way to act, or gives a way
That's
you
right.
are in the world.
It gives you, being gives doing.
Yeah.
So being loyal gives a kind of doing, but in and of itself, it is a being. The doing might look like I pay attention to you. It might look like I keep my word with you. It might look like that under any circumstance, I would never leave you. I mean, there's lots and lots of ways loyalty looks, but to be
Right.
loyal is a being. Is that, no?
It does. I guess I'm asking, like, in this dialogue you're having with Larry, if somebody says, well, I didn't do my practice. Like, I didn't look at these 3 ways of how I interact or move in the world. Can that ever be? Could Larry ever not be seeing into the heart of another? Could Larry, no matter, even if he didn't practice, would he ever not be honest or loving? So there's a practice, we give them exercises because it helps us as individuals see, this is the way we are. And it gets us more related to that. But I don't know that if I didn't exercise, like consciously sit and contemplate this, that Rasha would be any less loyal, or Rasha would be any less caring, or Rasha would be any less generous.
Right. Okay, got it. So very, very good. So we're going to go back in time a little bit, because something I wanted to say about this past week that occurred to me is that these 3 characteristics or qualities are an expression of our true essence, and it leads to something that we haven't gotten to yet. Because I was thinking, this is good. It's got something churning, but it's not it. Those 3 unique characteristics and qualities are churning something, but I think there's a something that's going to come out of it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to be necessary. Is that what you mean? Because like you said, you are that. Of course, it's not always expressed that way, but you are that.
Right.
See, but it's a thing of express that way. See, that becomes critical, because it's like there needs to be a shift. It sounds like most everybody, it just fucking went out of existence, right? So, right? So, but in the practical realm of, I mean, like we're really thinking about it, but how does it become just a thing that you are accessing, but without, like everybody, if I'm not thinking about it, then I'm not in it, right? Because I'm still accessing through my intellect. I have to think about it first to get in touch with it. And so I get what Rasha is saying. There's qualities, we are that regardless. But here's an interesting thing though. It's like, so I'm so fucking busy now. It's like, it's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, like, one of the qualities for me was resilient. Now, in my whole thing, like I'm letting go, but I'm just letting go to fucking hang on. Because I'm so like, you know, and I'm not feeling very resilient. I'm coming from the space of, I hope this fucking works.
Yeah, got it. Well, that brings back to the statement, I'm flabbergasted, but what's between us and accessing the spirit? There's so much. There's so much. Even trying to listen to another person. What I noticed more was all the stuff that's not that, and yet I know that is real. And then I have to look at me and I said, fuck, That's me. Like there's so much between us and that getting expressed.
Now listen.
I totally get that one.
So this was interesting, because I was thinking about this. I was driving, and all my kids are Waldorf kids. So one of the things that, like Steiner, in that realm, they talk about, you hold your child or someone always in their highest light. It's the same idea. It's like you look at somebody with those qualities. You are actually holding them in their highest light.
Yes.
So it's interesting, though, see, it's automatic with my children. But another human being, it's like, are you going to shut the fuck up?
See, that's so great, because now at least you have a pattern that you could transfer.
Right. But see, what's interesting with the kids, I don't have to even fucking create it.
No.
But if I'm talking to somebody else, I have to go back and go through the intellect and go, I'm seeing them in their highest light. Because I don't. Because my habit is, fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
That's a little.
I like that as a practice, though, you guys. That could be an exercise.
Tell me the practice.
Hold others in their highest light.
Oh, yeah.
What? So, like when you did with us, how, you asked us the series of questions. How do these qualities get expressed? Yada yada. So when people distinguish their practice between the workshop and the following session could be holding others in their highest light, and the access to that is their 3 qualities. Because if they're in these 3 qualities, holding others in their highest light is not going to be hard.
Yeah. Now, would it be better to choose one person, or is it we should ask people to go out and do it with everybody?
I think that's differ. For me, it's going to be, for us, I think for us, it has to be for everybody.
Yeah. Agreed.
For people on this call, it has to be for everybody.
Go ahead, Charlie.
I was going to say, I listened to all you guys, and how it's occurring for me is you're talking about acceptance.
Well,
Yeah, right.
on one hand, but remember, you and I went through this before. Acceptance is a funny little word.
Mm-hmm.
Acceptance has a very subtle superiority to it.
Well, it can.
I know. I'm not saying it does, but I'm very hesitant to use the word just because of that.
So, Charlie, are you talking maybe not acceptance, but including? So include all that weird shit that gets in the way of accessing that? Right? That's different. It's not accepting it. You have to include it. You have to include all the bullshit.
Well, no, he's talking about, like we were talking about, hold others in their highest light.
Right.
Yes.
So that would be like acceptance. And you're right, absolutely would. I only hesitate to use the word, number one, because it's kind of,
Well, it doesn't have to be that word.
Huh?
Doesn't have to be that word. But really what keyed me into it was the way Robert was talking about his children.
Yeah.
And I see so many other adults look at their children that way.
Yeah.
It kind of points to something, you know.
Well, and you know what it is? It's because it is, to see them in their highest light, I have to include that they're dickheads.
Oh, okay.
Right? I mean, otherwise, because with somebody else, I can get stopped if they're being a dick or whatever.
Well, yeah, if you perceive it, yeah.
But when I look at the kids, they can be snotty and shitty to me. They can be however they are. But I include it as that's part of who they are.
Mm-hmm.
It's including that allows me to access. I know you're fucked up and stupid, and I see.
You poor thing, because you're mine.
I see you, though. I see how awesome you are.
Yeah. And, and there's the benefit of having something from a very small baby. where they're nothing but pure possibility, and you have lots of practice of looking at them as pure possibility. So there's a lot of that stuff. Larry, you had something.
I don't remember what it was now.
Okay. All right, good. Well, at least all of our heads are in the right place. So as I went through the movie again today, I had a lot of thoughts. One thought I had was, I don't know if I am creating the vision that I have clearly. Because there's things that have been said. Something like, I think you said, Robert, something along the lines of, well, we don't want people to come and think they came to watch a movie. And something like that. And I'm not meaning anything negative. I'm just saying it's touched something in my brain. Like, that's not my vision. I have a vision. I got to figure out how to articulate it. That's the word. How to articulate my vision to you. And I don't have it yet. So don't get ready, because I don't have it yet to be able to do it. But that came to me today as I was flying home. I thought, I haven't really articulated my vision, because I watched the movie again and I started picking parts out. And I said, you know what? I'm still enrolled in that this is going to do what I want it to do. I'm so enrolled in it. But as I'm watching it, I'm not watching it the way you watch it.
Sure.
I'm connecting it to something that I haven't yet articulated sufficiently that I can give it to you so you can enjoy it with me.
Mm-hmm.
So there was this one section where Keating says, what will your verse be? And I started to think about that, and I thought, what if there's not what will our verse be, there is our verse, and how will it play? And that's what we're uncovering, is what is our verse? And maybe that's what we end up calling this unique gift thing. Maybe we drill it down to your verse. What is your verse? What's the tone that you bring to the whole of it? What's the piece that you are? But I don't think we can start there at the beginning. I think there's this stuff that we went through that brought it to light that maybe they have to go through. What do you all think about that?
So how I'm hearing what you're saying is, what's your verse? Is that pointing to purpose?
Not from my point of view, because I say that your purpose is to experience life. So what is your verse? Well, if life is a song, then you're one of the notes. Or if life is a poem, then you're one of the verses, like that. So you're some expression of the whole of it, but yours is as unique as the whole is. I don't know, man. I mean, it is a rabbit hole to go down. But do you all like that? What is your verse, or no? What does it bring up for you? Anything?
Remember that part? There was an exercise that you've done, and I found it very powerful, where you took, it was like a meditation, and you took us back to, and you've done it in groups, back to like when you were a kid and everything was fine, or maybe before language. Remember this? And that's the essence of where you are. Do you remember that exercise? Yeah. And for me, that really hit. And it's like there's a quietude there. There's a place of rest and peace. And so when you talk about that, what is your verse? It's like you know what that is, and it's that feeling that you've brought up before. And that is like the qualities or the characteristics.
Well, what if, Robert, our getting our three unique characteristics and qualities, as we've done, what if there's something we do with that that exposes what is our verse? And what if being our verse naturally has us expressing this way and naturally has us being that way with other people, as you suggested?
Yes. And my question is like, how, I mean, I want to know, how do I have more of that in my day-to-day? Because when I go through my day-to-day, my always way that I am in the world, that's what's prevalent. That's what shows up the most.
Right.
And then I was thinking, well, for me to really access that, would I have to build in some type of a ritual? Would I have to build in rituals in my day so I can stop and access that space again? Because without the ritual, like, and it's the rituals of like the meditation. And so is that part of the thing where, I mean, what if in my day, or in Larry's having his crazy day, Rosh is having her day, you have at least an awareness or a mindfulness to say, let me get to that heart space. Let me get to that place. Let me just connect with that for a moment. Otherwise, it's like the always way I always am. It's just, here it is, and I'm in, and let's go, and you know, I mean, and the only way I've been actually having to even get that is if I go to the gym. It's the only time I carve out and go do this, go do.
Yeah.
And so without that ritual, I just think it just becomes the struggle I have. How do I get that into my life as part of my life and not an exercise?
Right.
Not another seminar I'm doing.
Yeah. Something that really shifts.
Yes, that's the word.
Quantum shift. I mean, that's what we're looking for. And I'll bring it back to, I am flabbergasted by what's between us and accessing that.
That would be a good point that we all really hit.
It is a very, very, I don't know, you know, there's lots of metaphors we could use, but it's a championship game and we have to treat it as such. You had something, Larry?
I guess some ideas, but nothing's gelling completely.
Oh, the reason I called on you, your hand was going like this. I thought you were calling for me. I'll get used to that and I won't do that anymore.
So Thomas, so I think that this conversation you and Robert had is very poignant because this is what we are all. So when you know, you've said it several times since we got on the call. I am flabbergasted by what's in the way. And I think that is what we all need to admit in the room. This is effortful. I think part of the spiritual community is like this pretense that there isn't effort and that effort on some days occurs as frustrating because I should be past it. Like, damn it, this got me again, right? And I can't say, like looking at my own self, I can't say I've come to peace with that, but I can say I don't berate myself as long as I used to.
Right. Well, it's
so
like.
I think there's something about like.
Included.
Yeah, and you know, when I think about like when Robert said, well, it's the gym for me, and I think you called them anchors or something in the previous workshop.
Yeah, integrity.
And for me, it's yoga. It's that practice of intentionally breathing, intentionally moving, and intentionally feeling. Like it can get super uncomfortable in yoga, right? Like something that you thought you could totally do last week or even on Monday, roll around Wednesday, and you can't do it at all. And something about that has just been like, well, this is where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
And I always want to be somewhere else. Always. So for me, I think now if I have to look at what gets in the way, it's when I am not okay with what's happening right now. I want to control it and I want to make it different. That's what it is for me. So I think the noticing, but without going down the rabbit hole of what the thing itself is, because I think that's one of our biggest spiritual distractions. That's just my two.
So maybe
around that
we drill down to the unique gifts, but then we point to this thing that we call the verse and say, there really is no label for it. It is completely experiential.
I think it is.
Okay, good.
Sort of like running on autopilot, though. You know,
Yeah.
or
Well, what can we do this week that would empower us to get to this magical place? I don't know what it is, you guys. All I know is it will happen. And Rasha knows it will happen because it's happened many times for us. And Charlie has been around many times when it's happened. So for you guys who are new with us, it will happen. There will be this moment. It's just more fun if we can get it sooner than later, because then we do shit with it before we actually bring other people in it.
I remember back when I was reading The Power of Now many years ago, and Eckhart Tolle talked about putting a spoon in your sock drawer. So drawer, and it made you realize I'm just on autopilot.
Or versus, it reminds me I'm on autopilot. How about if we use it to remind us to stop and get centered?
Yeah, sacred anchors.
We just do a real quick list point and then head back in.
How do we create a ritual like that? I mean, it's like, so going to the gym, I mean, my favorite part of the gym is the conversation I have every time before I go to the gym in my head. It's always the same conversation. I'm never going to go. And then I go. So what if that became a different conversation? Like, okay, that's an anchor. So in this time when I'm fiddle fucking around with my thoughts, what if I just go, okay, those are my thoughts. And now this is also the time to connect to this awareness of
course.
Right? So,
but the initial practice that comes to my mind is, for you, let go of having to have the conversation. So you notice you're about to have the conversation, you let that go, and in exchange you're going to do being present or whatever, you know.
Put a different habit in.
Exactly, because for me, it's constant. Let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. Like I've gotten very good at doing it before the conversation versus after the conversation.
Right.
That, if I could give anything away, that would be one little magic bullet right there. Letting go.
Can I ask out of curiosity, any of you guys, so you know the meditation, the quantum meditation, one of the things that's made me aware of which sense tends to be my biggest blocker, and mine is auditory. So it's my strength. I've come to notice, like when people talk, I can pay attention. I could link things in my brain, which I'm learning with my boss because he's not auditory at all. So somebody says something and I'm like, you know, go. He's not. So that made me start to pay attention. Oh, but it's the very thing that gets me off keel first. So it is the something that distracts me. It is like, think about it, Thomas, for us, it's like if somebody says something that embarrasses us, which sense is that? It's the auditory sense. Yeah. For me, anyway. It's what they say. But I was just noticing, like, oh, if I can now, or if somebody says something and I want to tune them out, right? So I'm working so hard on tuning them out versus like the meditation. It's like, can you hear sound? Like sound exists. Like it's just part of, so it's been interesting. I'm playing with it, but I was curious if, it's been a huge access this week. Not all of the things that I'm proud of, but.
Yeah, but you know, one of the challenges we have as a group is that we do have so many practices.
Yeah.
So, but it's all going to come together for sure. I just want to make sure that we all have something to focus on this coming week. So next week we come back having percolated something. And I think maybe what that might be is this thing we're calling our verse. This thing we're calling, like, what does that feel like? What does that feel like? Maybe that's the game to play. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Practice being open-hearted for sure, right? And inquire, meditate on, think about, what is this thing we're pointing to? The verse, the essence, the spirit. What is this thing? Cool. Will you do that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so is there anything that anybody wants? Oh, go ahead, Robert, please.
Oh no, I'm gonna hook that to what we previously talked about. That was good coaching about the gym, the pre-gym conversation I had.
Yeah.
And I'll stick that in there, open-hearted instead of.
Oh,
Yeah.
Perfect.
Can you define verse?
Well, I took it from the movie, and Keating is talking to the group, and he said, life is a poem, and you get to be a verse. What will be your verse? And that made me think, there's what will be our verse, or we could say, this thing we're pointing to is our verse, our tone, our contribution, our who we are in the whole of it. Is that
Essence.
like essence? Yeah.
When did he say that in the movie? Do you know which part?
Yeah, I do. Wait.
Like, is it in the first segment or is it later?
It
It's
is
first.
26 minutes.
Yeah, it's first.
If you go to 26 minutes in, the what is your verse? What will your verse be? He says. What will your verse be? Is how he says it.
So,
26.
but we don't get them to this part until the latter half of the day, huh?
Well, here's the way I'm envisioning what we're doing. We have little conversations or distinctions, right? And I'm imagining them on an index card, and they're laid out. And as soon as we tighten each one up and we can look at them, then we'll start moving the index cards so that they fit.
Okay.
The problem is those index cards are in my head.
That is a very, very, very big problem. But it'll come out, and I'm trying to write stuff that you think is important so that we don't lose it.
Thank you. All right, well then we are going to call it an early evening. How do you all feel about that?
I have another question.
Yeah, Robert, please.
So when you're looking at this, and when I'm looking at this, is there an overall destination where at the end of not just the day, but the subsequent meetings on the web, that they are left with?
They are left with, if it's experiential, a peace and tranquility in the face of anything.
Mm,
And so, okay, so,
I have to express this then.
yeah, wait a sec. Say that again.
Peace and tranquility in the face of anything.
That's good.
So, Thomas, I've been chewing on something, and I don't know if it has any value, but I want to share it.
Hit it up, baby.
I'll call you back in that, sir.
So some time ago, I did a breathing session, and what I got present to was my resistance to accepting my joy, or how I have it now is being my natural self.
Yeah.
And somehow natural has a different distinction for me now. You know, when we're young kids, we're naturally joyful, we're naturally loving, and then we have that experience that shifts us, right?
Well, we have an experience and then we shift.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But, being our natural self, to me, that's occurring like that's my verse. And those qualities are an expression of it.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. And now get in touch with what it feels like. See, because you may
Totally.
not be able to express it any other way, but enjoy the feeling of it this week and get in touch with what it feels like, especially taking it in the face of things you would normally resist.
But, the other aspect that I wanted to mention, when I am being my qualities, like being resourceful or being including, or what's the other one there? Or warm-hearted. It's like it's a natural expression of myself. It's just who I am.
It's like
There's
you
no
have to do something.
no concerted effort.
Right. It's like you have to do something to turn it off. That's what I was looking at. It's like there's got to be something that's turning it off versus trying to turn it on.
Maybe we should try to turn it off.
What, Larry?
Maybe we should try to turn it off.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Love
what
it.
I'm hearing when Robert was talking in the beginning of this, when he was, saying, I don't really care what they have to say. I don't
Oh,
want to.
but he's telling you the truth.
That's kind of what I heard, and that's what I was kind of churning.
Oh, that's great. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. Let's play that game. I think that's a good game. Wow.
So what are our assignments?
Well, can we still practice being open-hearted? Yeah. We're going to practice being open-hearted, and then we're going to try to turn off our true essence.
So it's good. All right.
Well, that might be easier than you think, Larry.
I did pretty easy.
I'm afraid everybody's going to come on the call and be bitchy and nasty, speaking their minds.
It might give us access to something, though.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I'm enrolled. I'm enrolled.
I
Let's
create
try
some
it.
enemies.
Well, yeah.
I'll be calling Thomas for a job.
Let's do it. Let's give it a try. Let's give it a try.
I remember when,
So then I will. Does anybody else have anything?
I guess you can't hear me.
I can. Yes, I can.
We just can't see you.
I know, I got
It's really cool. You just as we talk, you just keep fading away.
Brent, talk.
dark for dark on me. But
Don't worry about it.
Arjuna says one of the things when you create a practice for somebody, when you're coaching somebody, is that they should find it humorous, or they should laugh, or there should be some kind of reaction. And I never that, so it was actually, I could see where that would be interesting to try.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I mean, it's just for a week. Let's see what we get. I love it.
So now we have to come up with a list and articulate what the opposite is of our true essence, right?
So just to be clear, so
Shadow.
if I'm talking to somebody and I start to feel empathy for them, I have to go, I'm feeling empathy. Go, that's kind of cool. Because you go, I'm feeling, because it's going to have to be aware of like, oh, I'm feeling empathy. And go, no, fuck that shit.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be curious to hear from you, Robert. Oh, boy. Well, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think we got some work here. This is good. Thanks for the practice, Larry. I hope that we get a lot of value out of that one. We'll use it up. And just keep in mind before we hang up that we are flabbergasted by what's between us and accessing this thing. And that this is a championship game, and we can't treat it any less than that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah. All right.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Good night, you guys. Thank you.